What's up, everybody? This is Peter again for Sports Hot Rumors and Debates. How are you guys today? Guys, I took a day off yesterday for the first time in probably like 7 months, just for the fact that I wanted to kind of refresh a little bit. And I was reading an article the other day about how Kyler Murray is going to be probably one of the best quarterbacks ever and all these different things. And here's the deal. No, there's not many more bigger Arizona Cardinal fans than me, right? Arizona, it's time now for Arizona to just put their performance on the field. We are coming very quickly on the NFL season, and the reason it's approaching us so fast is because there is no baseball to pay attention to. We don't know about basketball yet, even though it's going to be towards the end of July. We don't know what's going on, and everybody's craving sports, right? Usually you crave football, but you have other sports to kind of take your mind off of it. Right now, we're in June. We're in mid-June. Football is a couple months away. Wonderful, right? Maybe 2.5 months for the season. If they're doing preseason, whatever they're doing, who knows? I know Ezekiel Elliott had the coronavirus. God willing, he's okay. And then all this stuff. I don't even want to hear that. I don't even want to fathom that football would get canceled. Let's talk about how the Arizona Cardinals need to put up or shut up, right? I'm the biggest Cardinal fan, one of them, excuse me. There's a bunch of diehard fans. The deal here is Arizona has all the talent in the world. The Cardinals have everything, right? They can be one of the most elite teams for a very long time because they have one of the best receivers ever to play the game, DeAndre Hopkins. They have an amazing talent in Kyler Murray, and they have a great young coach and a great young running back with an enormous amount of talent on defense. Great. However, they have a lot of chances to blow this, right? You don't play on paper. If you played on paper, Arizona would be great. Other teams would be dominant, but you don't do that. You play to win. You play on the field. So it's Arizona's time now to put all this together. There's a lot of pressure on them because they're not coming into this season as an underdog. They're coming into this season with a lot of expectations, right? A lot of expectations for them to be like, well, Kyler, this is your second year. You have DeAndre now. You should know what you're doing. They fixed a little bit the offensive line. They definitely fixed your defense. So you should be great. Don't make those mistakes. And sometimes that gets to you. So Arizona at this point needs to block all this out. But how does Arizona come into this season and win? There's one way they can do this and take the pressure off Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury, and that's defense. If the Arizona defense comes out and does what they're supposed to do with the players that they have, Kyler Murray will have there'll be no pressure on this guy. If the Arizona defense comes out and starts giving up 28 points like they did and starts struggling and Joseph doesn't figure it out, all the pressure is going to be on Kingsbury and Kingsbury and Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, and it'll just be the Houston Texans, right? The Houston Texans who, not when J.J. Watt was playing amazing and everything, the Houston Texans of when Watt wasn't there and they was playing against the Chiefs and gave up 28 straight points and all these different things. It's a whole different game. We don't need that. We know Arizona can score. We know Kyler Murray can run. We know he can throw. We know DeAndre can catch. We know Christian Kirk is a talented player. We know Larry Fitzgerald is one of the best players of all time. We know Kenyon Drake can play. We know all this stuff. But it doesn't matter if you don't put it all together on the field. Now, if the defense is bad, does that mean Arizona isn't successful? No, they still can play really well. But how can they assure themselves of a really great season is by playing defense. Defense is the name of the game. If you play great defense, imagine what Arizona can do with that offense. They got a great kicker who rarely misses. So if there's games where their offense struggles and if their defense holds up, we will figure out a way to at least get into field goal position. Arizona figured it out a way a million times to get into field goal position last year. They can never capitalize when they needed to. The whole point to this is you don't play on paper, right? All these great things that Arizona looks like and all these great stories I read about Kyler and how DeAndre's ready and they're all ready to play with each other and all these different things is wonderful, right? Some of the other haters, they're going to be the Browns. One guy told me, this is the worst this is like the worst channel because you always favor your Arizona Cardinals and you favor your bias. And let me explain something to you guys. If my team sucks, I will be the first guy to come out and say this shit is awful. But I do not think the Arizona Cardinals suck. Do I think they sucked over the course of the last few years? I wanted to vomit when I watched that team play. That was the truth. That's why if you watch my videos before everything, I was begging for a guy like Kyler Murray, shitting on Rosen and saying we're not going to go anywhere, begging for Metcalf and all that stuff. So when I push the Diamondbacks and the Cardinals is because we got guys like Bumgarner on the Diamondbacks, who I believe is going to change the team. We got like guys like DeAndre Hopkins on the Arizona Cardinals, who's going to change the team. Because those teams were good, we're one or two players away from being great. Don't look at the record. The people who look at the record are the people who don't look at the sports. They don't pay attention to the game. They're just looking at the overall thing. They're not looking in depth and how close they were. And that's how some teams people go, where did this team come from? Well, actually, they've been knocking on the door the whole time. You just only looked at the score or you only looked at the record. That's not how you do it. Sometimes things get away at the end. You got to look at the team overall. It's almost like horse racing, right? If you ever watch horse racing. You get a horse one time, either he gets boxed in or he couldn't get out or something happens to the horse. And then if you look without even watching the race, you're like, oh, this guy finished 5th. But all of a sudden, the next race out, he wins by a mile. And you're like, how did that happen? Well, you didn't watch the race before that because he actually had the race or something happened. So I don't know if that's a good analogy or not, but a lot of people need to pay attention to overall. Arizona has it. Can they put it together? My belief is absolutely. I just don't want the pressure all to fall on Kyler and DeAndre because you know what's going to happen? If that happens and the defense sucks, it's going to be very tough for Arizona to get going in the beginning. There'll be a lot of pressure where Kyler scores and then they score. And we don't score and they score. Now Kyler has to run down. It's going to be a lot. We don't need that. I would love for them to put up 3 and outs here and 3 and outs there, get them to punt the ball. Arizona will be amazing. That's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.